Alright guys, welcome back to Underground Science. In this video, we'll be going over one of the glial cells of the peripheral nervous system called Schwann cells. Alright, so let's go and get started. So if you guys remember from the glial cells of the central nervous system videos, one of those glial cells we talked about were the oligodendrocytes. And if you guys remember, the oligodendrocytes were the one that produced myelin for the neurons in the central nervous system. And we'll see in this video that the Schwann cells have a similar function. However, it's for the neurons that are in the peripheral nervous system, not the central nervous system. All right. So let's go and get started. So let's go and draw a basic peripheral nervous system neuron, or a nerve cell, right? Just a nerve. So let's go ahead and start with our cell body, right? So our soma, and then let's go ahead and draw our dendrites out. All right. Let's go and draw our tree-like branches out for our dendrites. And once this is done, let's go ahead and start our axon hillock, right? So our axon hillock starts right before our axon, so let's go and guesstimate that it's right there. And let's go and draw our axon, where the action potentials will travel through, all right? And actually, you know what, let's go and draw a large diameter axon, because that's going to be useful when we start talking about the Schwann cells. So we're drawing a large diameter axon, and then let's go ahead and draw our axon terminal and our synapse. All right. So that kind of messed up there, but it's fine. All right. So this is going to be our large diameter. You know, let me write a little bit above. This is going to be our large diameter axon. All right. All right. So this is going to be again. So let's not confuse with the central nervous system. All right. So this is a peripheral nervous system nerve cell. Okay, so we're talking about the peripheral nervous system here. All right, so now that we know that, there's a glial cell in our peripheral nervous system called the Schwann cell. All right, and the Schwann cell is going to be responsible for producing myelin on large diameter axons. All right, so let's go and draw the myelin in. Okay, so we're going to have myelin sheets here, all right, that the Schwann cell is going to be responsible for producing. In the central nervous system, we saw that the oligodendrocytes could actually latch onto multiple places of an axon, and also to another neuron in multiple places of that neuron's axon. But Schwann cells are different. Schwann cells can only stay wherever they produce their myelin. So if we have a myelin sheath here, we're gonna have a Schwann cell around it. All right. So if we were to draw it, right, in this somehow 2D picture, right? So if we were to draw it, then we would have, okay, so let me go ahead and, wait one sec. Let me go and color this in. All right, so this is our myelin sheath, all right? And so our Schwann cells, if we were to draw in green, would actually surround this myelin sheath, all right? And so we would know that, so the Schwann cells, according to this drawing, right, are only surrounding one myelin sheath, the one that they produced in that specific section of the axon. All right, so they're not acting like oligodendrocytes, where if we were to quickly show it here, right? If you haven't already, make sure to go and watch that video on oligodendrocytes. But if we were to quickly show it, right, we would see that we would have our axon here. So let's just quickly try to draw so we can save some time, right? So we have axon there, and then we have a neuron there. So this is central nervous system, all right? And then we're gonna have an axon terminal synapse there. If we were to draw oligodendrocytes, right? If we were to draw oligodendrocytes, we would see that the oligodendrocytes actually latch on to a lot of sections of multiple axons and provide myelin to multiple axons, because they're capable of doing that. So we saw in the video, in the oligodendrocytes videos, that they latched on to multiple areas of an axon in one neuron, and they can latch on to an area or multiple areas of another axon in another neuron. All right, so we saw that. So he's producing myelin for multiple neurons, all right, in multiple places of an axon, or multiple spots throughout the axon. So this is, remember, so let's not get confused. And so this is our central nervous system neurons. All right, so we don't confuse it with the peripheral nervous system. And then this is our oligodendrocyte. All right, so now that we can see the difference now. So let me go and label this real quick. It's our oligodendrocyte. And now we can see the difference between how an oligodendrocyte works and Schwann cell works, right? And how a Schwann cell works. Schwann cell wraps around its own myelin and it can only produce, it's not continuous, right? It just produces myelin in one section of this axon and not in multiple peripheral nervous system nerve cells. We don't see Schwann cells latching onto another nerve cell in the peripheral nervous system and producing myelin there. It's only one spot and it's not continuous. So if we were to look at this specific myelin sheath, we would also see a Schwann cell that's wrapped around it all over, right? That's producing and it helps insulate the neuron. And we'll actually talk about the functions now. Some of the few functions of Schwann cells, or some of the few functions of a Schwann cell. So if we write Schwann cell here and just list out the main functions that we should know, all right? So this is, again, let's keep on trying to refer that this is in the peripheral nervous system so we don't confuse it with the glial cell in the central nervous system. All right, so let's go ahead and write some functions so one, right? One function, as we just said above, is to produce myelin, right? To produce myelin for our peripheral nervous system nerve cells. All right, so sorry about this random dot here. Okay, so that's one function of our Schwann cells. Another function is relating to this is that our Schwann cells help insulate our nerve cells in our peripheral nervous system, right? Because it produces myelin for them, and that's what myelin does. It helps insulate the axon and helps faster transmission of signals throughout the axon. Okay, so it helps insulate the axon, and the Schwann cells, in relation to this again, right, helps for action potentials to travel faster throughout the axon. So increases speed of transmission, speed of electrical transmission, right? I mean, the myelin increases the speed of electrical transmission. However, the Schwann cells are the one that's producing the myelin. So technically, the Schwann cells also help increase the speed of electrical transmission throughout the axon. All right, and another thing Schwann cells can do that they actually found is that when a part of an axon gets damaged, right, due to whatever reason in the peripheral nervous system, the Schwann cells can help or can release inflammatory cytokines and other inflammatory markers to help attract white blood cells, and altogether Schwann cells can actually help regenerate the axon that was the part of the axon that was damaged. So it can help in axon healing. All right, so number 4 is that overall, ultimately, our Schwann cells can help in axon healing or regeneration, all right, after it's been damaged, and along with releasing inflammatory cytokines after that particular part of the axon has been damaged. So, and one more thing is that our Schwann cells help provide support and a little nutrition to our peripheral nervous system nerve cell. So we're just going to say support and structural support, right? And nutrition, just a little bit of nutrition, and we'll look more into satellite cells later, all right? So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to get through in this video, just the basic function of a Schwann cell in the peripheral nervous system, right? A glial cell. So I hope to see you guys in my future videos. We'll talk about more cool topics about biochem, and physics. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, like and subscribe. See you guys later, and stay safe.